All right, guys. Next exercise is the item adjustment for Rome. Again, got to go find my image of Rome. There we go. All right, so you should see this guy kind of grumpy. I think I would be more excited if I was on vacation. Apparently, he does not give any craps. Doesn't matter. What we're going to do with this guy is we are going to make him the main focus of this image. And we are, since he's so miserable in Rome, we're going to blur it out. So hopefully it can, be forgotten or whatever the heck his problem is. So in order to do that, the first thing I want to do is I want to select him. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert my selection to include all of the background. One of the first things that I want to do, and what you're going to want to do with a lot of your images, is you can't actually manipulate or change colors or do anything to them because they're considered a background and they're locked. So very easy to unlock. Click on the lock. If you do that, again, it opens up your opacity, your fill, some other things over here. It also lets you manipulate. You can see it. I can turn on and off the layer now. Things like that. So this guy, same thing as the last exercise, quick selection and magic wand tool. All right, I'm on addition, probably want to be a little bit bigger than 8. Okay, yeah, maybe a little bit smaller. It's about the same size as his head. So I'm going to start in his shirt. And again, this is where maybe a single click might be a better idea than dragging and holding. So you can see that in his shirt, that went relatively nicely. I'm going to zoom in on this in a minute and see how good the edge actually is. But as far as getting that shirt selected, that was good. Now this, not so much. We have somebody's head selected. I'm not going to worry about it a lot here. I'm going to try to get the rest of his face, which I did. Got most of his ears. And I'm going to try to get a little bit of his head. Now you can see got a lot of people on the sidewalk. Just to finish it up. Again, more people on the sidewalk. So I got most of his hair, most of his head. Trying to get as much as I can without selecting the background, but now I got some of this wall. Got this hair, got some people sitting, some stairs. All right, we got to get in there. We got to adjust some of this stuff. So, going to switch back to the magic wand tool. I'm going to get in here and try to figure out what is wrong. So first thing, I'm going to start where I started with the quick selection tool, which is down here on the left. I accidentally actually picked up some white on this side. I picked up some yellow too. So I'm going to switch into subtraction mode. My tolerance is on 5 from the last exercise. I'm going to bump it back up to 10 to be safe. All right, going to get rid of that little bit of yellow there. Not a big deal. Okay. I got rid of that white, but maybe a little bit too much white. So this might be where I go back to 5 again. Just to get, look, there's like 3 pixels right there. Okay. There we go, beautiful. On this side, things look pretty good. I could maybe make the argument that over here, there's a couple pixels that are his arm, but it's so iffy. I don't think we're going to be missing a whole lot. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to his shoulder, where we clearly know we don't need this, I'm assuming, lady. We don't need this lady's head. So 5 is really not working out good for me here. So again, I'm going to switch to 10. Okay. Again, you guys should really have the main idea with this quick selecting and selecting. This is where the bulk of your time is going to be spent, or where it should be spent. Adjusting the effects and adjusting what is happening with the image after you have a selection taken care of is really kind of the easy part. It's this part that is going to make or break you. So, do a nice job. Now here, even with 5, that might be too much. So I'm going to go down to 3. I don't know if you can hear my clicking over the microphone here, but if like a rapid fire click is helpful with a small tolerance, sometimes that's just the way to go. All right. So again, I wanted to show you guys in the video how to get this exercise done. I want you to spend the quality time with it and make sure that you do it correctly. So I'm not going to go all the way around the head, but I do want you guys to zoom in. I want to make sure that you're doing a nice job on this. So I'm going to at least do this side. I think I'm missing a little bit of his ear there. There we go. Looking a little bit more eerie. Okay. Alright, I got some bigger colors here. I'm going to switch back. Come on, switch back to 5. Alright. Again, you can see this is probably going to be, some of you are going to be hating it, some of it's going to be tedious. But in all honesty, this is what Photoshop was built for. Editing images. So if you thought Photoshop was going to be some crazy magical thing that was going to make you able to draw incredible digital things, it's not. That's what Illustrator's for. Not to say that you can't paint or do fun, creative things in Photoshop, but it's not exactly what it's built for. Okay, so you get the idea, cleaning up the head. Definitely don't leave like weird pixels selected that aren't close to him. Make sure you clean all that stuff up. Alright, so this side you can see doesn't look great. This side, pretty good. I could potentially zoom in a little bit further. Some of you guys that have less color deficiencies than me are probably going to be a little bit better. Might be able to really narrow these things down and really indicate, well, I don't think his hair should have blue pixels in it. All right. For me, I think this looks pretty good. So when I have this done, I'm going to zoom back out. You can either hit Control or Command minus, or hit Control or Command 0, and it takes you to your full screen. These keyboard commands, a lot of them are similar over the different Adobe products. So try them out. If they don't do what you expect them to do, knowing from a previous software, take note of what they do. If you're looking for something specific, just keep in mind, anytime you drop down, you got all the keyboard commands on the side. So if you want to get efficient with your work, if you want to be quick, if you want to be fast, if you want to not waste time staring at the keyboard and trying to figure out where those buttons are, or every time you want to undo or redo something, come up here at the top, learn where those commands are. All right. So what we're going to do here is we have this selected. We want to make the background blurry, not him blurry. And with what we have here, if I was to go and get the blur tool, it's just going to make him blurry. So I want to put my marching ants around all the other stuff that I want to make blurry and not him. So I need to go up to select. This tab is all of your tools for your selection. The selection is your marching ants. So I want to adjust my selection. What I want to do is I want to invert my selection. So what it's going to do is it's going to flip-flop what I have selected, which is this, with what I don't have selected, which is all of this. So if I click inverse, now you can see the marching ants, they go up and around the top edge. They go around him still in the same line of pixels that I made with my selection quick selection, but they don't go across the bottom. They go across to everything else. So that tells me that everything up here is all free game at this point. So I need to get my blur tool right here. It's already selected. I can change the size of my blur. I can change how hard my blur is. All right. For this one, I would probably leave it relatively soft. You don't want to see, if I draw a line straight down, you don't want to be able to see a line that doesn't exist going straight down where this side is blurry and this side is still nice and clean. So up here, this is the strength of your blur. You might have to play with this a little bit. And you also might have to use multiple levels of, or multiple layers of blurring. But the same thing with the last one. Get yourself a big freaking brush. All right, well, that might be a little bit killer. Get yourself a big brush. Try to make sure that you go over the whole thing in a single click. If you start going over one area, let go of your click, go in another area, let go of your click, you're going to have different weirdness, like it's different levels of focus, essentially. So this might look a little bit sharper over here. This might look a little blurrier over here. But if you look in the background and trace the line straight across, they exist in the same distance back in this image. So you don't want to create any weird optical illusions. Just want to blur the freaking crap out of this. So I'm going to go ahead, blur that up. And you can already see how everything is nice and blurry. All right. So I'm going over everything. I'm making sure it's good. I let go of my click. I'm going to do it again. Blur it up. You really can't go wrong on this. You can do it 3 or 4 times. Okay. It's not going to hurt me none if you totally obliterate it. Now, don't spend all day on this. I haven't had anybody actually see if they could blur it all to like a single color or anything like that. It could take forever. So don't You might have ambitions, and I appreciate that, but I think that level of blurriness is appropriate. Now, if we, again, Control or Command D, depending if you're on PC or Mac, deselect, you can see now, right around him, all right, you can see things get real blurry real fast, but he is nice and crisp and clean. Now, you can see where I did a poor job. You can see these people still sitting on the steps. That would really mess with somebody. That would screw somebody up if they saw this image. They're like, what kind of crazy camera or what the heck is going on here? So again, do a good job. You're going to be able to see where you did a crappy job. All right? So make sure that you go around, you select these things. All right? And lastly, I forgot to tell you this on your last image. Make sure that you go ahead and put your name in there. Use the text box. That's probably way too big. All right, include your name on it so I can tell that you did it, and you're good. All right. So save it. Make sure you print it. You're going to hand it in with your rubric, and you can go ahead and move on to the next exercise. All right. Good luck. Have fun.